Stumps me.
Okay, it is 5:00 p.m. on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. We will call the Board of Works and Safety meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Weigel.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Daniel.
In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on March 25th. The only correction I saw was Joanne Bird's name was misspelled. I sent that to you in the email, so. Besides that, do you have any other changes?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes with the noted change.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign.
I'll abstain.
Thank you. Lisa abstains, Dan and I approve. Next up are street closings. First up is the Farmers Market street closing request. Aurelia, come on up. Name and address, please.
Aurelia Slusher, personal address 1946 South 6th Street, Albion, Indiana 46701.
Okay, and obviously Farmers Market again this year.
Yes.
And any changes or things that you planning to do differently?
Nope, same setup as last year, and then same as the documents that I submitted.
Okay, very good. Questions from the department heads? Questions from the board?
No, looking forward to it.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the street closing permit for Whitley County Farmers Market as presented. Yes, as
I'll
presented. Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. The only thing, the reason I paused was I was thinking two things. Number one is there any elections this year? I think the answer is no.
Yeah, because we did that this last one.
Yes.
We had to move everything around.
Second is, I'm assuming that you guys will probably be either moving or taking the Old Settlers Saturday off, correct?
Yes, so I don't plan on doing a market that Saturday.
Gotcha, okay.
And if we do plan on it, last year we went to Parkview, or there's other locations that we can host it.
I figured, I just want to make sure
Yeah,
that
it's already on my, yep.
it's all good. Any other questions? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
Okay, next up, Pat, we'll do yours next. How about that, since you're here? We'll try to get you out of here quick. So next up is roof project. Name and address, please.
Patrick Ball, 330 West, 400 North, Columbia City.
Thank you, and tell us about what you plan to do roofing wise.
Okay, so this is at the 212 West Van Buren address, which is our old store, Reinhold's now. Got to replace the roof on 70% of the building. And it's a little bit gray roof and rain and springtime. The starting date is the kind of gray area.
Gotcha.
Ideally, it's Rich Roofing Systems out of Huntington. They've done a couple other roofs for us. So Anthony would like to start on April 21st, a Monday. Thinks it'll take about 10 days to take care of the job.
Okay.
Keeping in mind, May 2nd is First Friday.
Friday,
So
yep.
if they could start on the 21st, and if the weather's suitable, they'd be done and out. Backup plan, if we get close to April 21st and a week worth of rain is coming, then he would like to start on May
Yeah, May 5th
12th.
on here.
Actually 12th now.
12th,
Yeah, we're
okay.
back there because Reinhold's have a big event going on the week
Oh,
of May
gotcha.
5th. So we need some space blocked off, probably 4 parking spots in front, a dumpster and a lift. And again, the time frame just kind of, they can't be concrete about it because if you get started on the job and then get 2 days of rain, you can't work in the rain on a roof. So we need some space, and that would be just a matter of one of those 2 starting dates. We just don't know which. He said that he could let us know, at the end of the week before either one of those starting dates, if it looks like it's a go for the 21st or the 12th of May.
I talked to him and Pat today, and he's very willing to work with us as far as if he needs to move everything. Because he's not,
Yeah.
I think he said it would only be a day. I mean, it wouldn't be like in a row that he could easily move everything.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Dumpster.
he even said if they got into the project and then all of a sudden got a bunch of rain the second week and they weren't going to be able to get it out by May 2nd, the first Friday,
Yeah.
they could move it if we could move it around to the back in the city parking lot.
Gotcha.
They could move it before. that Friday, so he understands. And they're a good group to work with. I've worked with them before.
So with the space, as you said, I think you said 4 parking spots, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I guess my question for you is, you know, looking at the overhead of your building there, you have, well, in that kind of half block,
Mhm.
you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots total.
Mhm.
But then you have the, we'll say vacant area in front of the alleyway that
Mhm.
isn't used. Well, I mean, it's a walking alley, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes me wonder, do you need the vacant area plus 4 spots? Or if we got into that vacant area, then you maybe only need 2 or 3 spots? you
Yeah, if the
think, or-
vacant area could be used, I wasn't sure if it would be okay to block that off, but if that could be used, then we could
Yeah.
minimize how many parking spaces.
Chip,
we
I
need.
don't know, is there, well, actually, I could probably look right now.
No.
Is there a ramp there or anything that we would
No,
have to?
you're
there's-
fine.
It's just straight up curb, is it not?
It's a alley, so it still has the alleyway.
Oh, it still has an alley
Yeah,
connector there?
but no, I think they'd be fine parking there.
I mean, I would rather, you know, again, just from a parking perspective, I'd rather fill that space, if it's only 10 days.
Yeah.
I'd rather fill that space than block off parking spaces.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, I don't know how you guys feel.
Take up 2 spots, you know,
Yeah, take up
that
2
spot
spots
and
plus
that 2 spots.
plus that alleyway, I mean, that'd be perfectly fine for me, and, in the road, of course, not on the sidewalk, but yeah, in the road.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, ideal, actually.
Mhm.
I didn't know that that might be available. I wasn't sure if that had to be an access.
No, I mean, we could, if there's a situation, you know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can work
Okay.
through it, so. So do I hear you correctly in saying it's either going to be April 21st or it's gonna be May 12th?
Correct.
Okay.
Start date. yeah.
So it's just kind of we're gonna look at the forecast and take that
Yeah.
gut shot, basically.
Yeah, exactly, because it was, with that first Friday coming up,
Yep.
if the weather looked lousy, starting April 21, they didn't really want to get into it and then
Sure.
have, you know, they'd rather not have to move the dumpster in the middle of it and that sort of
100%,
thing.
I
Yeah,
get that
yeah.
completely. So,
And he's gonna keep keep me informed.
informed, okay.
Exactly
Yeah,
when
oh,
they-
yeah, yeah.
Unless it's the maintenance. And then you're.
No, I'll
And
still.
then-
I told you he knows that.
Okay, any questions about it? Okay, so I will make a motion that, we approve the request for either the project, 10-day project, either beginning April 21st or May 5th, depending on the weather, that it take up the open space in front of that alleyway and 2 spaces, is that okay, or do you think you'll need 3, or? I'll
Be
give you.
nice to have the option of 3
I'll
in
give you up to
case.
3, I'll give you up to 3,
Okay,
that's fine.
that'd
So
be
up to
great.
3 spaces, parking spaces there, to re-roof the building, and, just make sure that Rosie stays notified.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch with Rosie.
Yep, motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor should be the usual sign. It is unanimous. Thanks, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have a street closing permit for a block party. Obviously, he is not here. Was he planning to be here, or, don't know, okay. So I looked at this earlier, so this is for Camden Drive. And it says from Camden Drive and Hannah Street to Camden Drive and East 100 South. So that's a pretty significantly long area. That whole road is a long area. He's looking for June 7th, so we have a little bit of time. I mean, there's really no good way to do a half block there because, again, you just have lots of homes that are side by side by side by side with driveways and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what your guys' gut feelings are. That's what I think. It's a really long stretch. I'm not opposed to block parties. I think it's a great idea. I just worry about having the whole block blocked off, which is maybe a center section or one end or another kind of a thing, personally. But
Is it something you could get residents' signature on?
yeah, I mean, absolutely, we can make, kind of make them do what we need them to do to make sure that the residents around there know and are aware. I would assume if he's planning a block party for his
They're-
neighborhood, they're probably gonna know, but I do think it's one of those where people work at different schedules, people, you know, with different lives, things like that, so, go ahead. He did from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Which is
on a
big
Saturday.
chunk of time.
It's the majority of the day, obviously, but,
Is there alleyways that they could access their homes from that? There's not. Okay.
nope, not there. So, I don't know, this is Ryan talking here, but I personally don't know that I feel super comfortable approving it without having a conversation with Jordan personally. I'd personally like to have him at one of our meetings if at all possible. I think if that is not possible, I'd really like for him and Gary to get together and to talk through the logistics of that. Frankly, if I think Tom were sitting here, he would have a little concern about fire truck access. And that,
He said he didn't have any concerns unless there was cooking appliances.
Yeah.
That are easily movable.
I just know he kind of
Yeah.
throws a bit of a fit if there's anything downtown that's blocking the roads at all, so.
Okay.
It just makes me a little concerned. So I guess my request is if the Board of Works is okay with it, I'd like to have Jordan in here to talk through some of the logistics
Okay.
of what he's planning to do. If he cannot make a 5 p.m. meeting on, you know, the second or fourth Tuesday of the month between now and that date, I'd really like him to have a sit-down meeting sooner rather than later with Chief Parrott to just talk through the logistics of that. Would you guys feel comfortable with
Yeah.
that? I'm all for it. I think it's a great thing. I love when neighbors are getting together and doing something kind of in the private fashion like that. I just want to make sure that, to your point, Lisa, everybody is informed and aware of it, number one, and number two, that we make sure that we have all the safety commitments taken care of, so. A motion, we table this street closing permit to the next meeting.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show the usual sign. It is unanimous, thank you. Okay, next up is the agreement for A&Z Engineering Phase 3 Westgate. So this is the agreement for A&Z to do kind of the final engineering of the third phase of the Westgate subdivision. As you will remember, this year, we will be applying for Community Crossings dollars to basically pay the majority of Westgate Phase 3 next year. So last year, we applied for Community Crossings for this year's road projects. This year, we're applying for next year's Phase 3 of Westgate. That will be the third and final phase of the Westgate subdivision. And again, same thing, wider improved streets, curbs, sidewalks, stormwater detention, things like, well, probably not detention, but stormwater conveyance, things like that. So, any questions about that?
Looking forward to that.
Me too, I'm glad it'll be done.
Yes.
I'm so excited to have Westgate done. So, okay, I will, it is, I think it is. It's Chip and Mike's favorite project.
I know, let's just not put the cart before the horse yet. You know?
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the agreement with A&Z Engineering in a, let's see, a not to exceed amount of $91,622 as presented.
A second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All in favor show with the usual sign, it is unanimous, thank you. Next up is a pay application for Hunger Skate Parks. Chip?
Yeah, this is the third pay app for them. I've got a feeling they're probably only gonna have one more. They're moving very, very quickly, so I would request that we pay Hunger $103,035.
And is the majority of this coming out of the Land and Water Conservation money, or half of it?
This is, yes, well, I'm speaking for somebody, I'm sorry.
You go ahead, because I can't remember.
It should be.
I think the majority of it comes from Land and Water
Yeah.
Conservation
Yeah.
grant, so.
I think the only part left we'll have after this is just the retainage, so.
Gotcha. I'll make a motion, we approve the contractor's application for payment for, this is application number 3 for Hunger Skate Parks in the amount of $103,035, $103,035.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. We'll also go to the, next we'll go to the, is it Evoqua? Evoqua pay request for Mike.
This is the first
all
installment. They're
senior
gonna do 4 draws on this project. The first one, this is to get everything rolling, as far as start to making, the parts and pieces of the cover. And it'd be my recommendation, that the board approve the invoice for Evoqua for $204,531, as presented.
Okay. Any questions? This is for the digester project.
Cover.
Yes, digester
And
cover.
I've got one relating thing here, if I can do that one real quick.
Sure, we'll do that back to back here in 2 seconds. Any questions regarding this pay request? I'll make a motion, we approve the invoice with billing number 906967662 in the amount of $204,531 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and seconded. Further discussion. All those in favor should put the usual sign. It is unanimous. Mike.
Second thing I have here is the first change order for that project.
Already?
Yeah. As I was on having discussions with them and meeting as far as setting up the project, a start date and an end date, because there's 2 mobilizations. The first date they came up with was, first mobilization, second mobilization was only 4 weeks apart. My lining company needs 3 to 5 weeks for their part, so I had to discuss on them, and then I was on a conference call with the lady in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and the other guy was in Los Angeles. For the company that installs the cover. So they came up with the date, start date on August 18th, where they'll come in and they'll set up their scaffolding and everything and tear it down, and do the cover. But what they weren't expecting to do, they were expecting to leave their scaffolding and everything in place. And I told you can't, it can't be in place, it has to be removed. See, I thought they would take it down and then set it back up for the second mobilization. No, they just planned on leaving it. That's what the original price indicated, that they were gonna leave it, and as it can't be there because I have to move it out of the way, I probably will have to put a stone drive in for access for cleaning and then also the lining. And then they have to reset it back up. Thing is, I don't know what the amount will be because we don't know the days. And the other part of that is, when I talk to them on the phone, if I store their scaffolding on site after they take it down, it'll be discounted because they don't have to remove it. It'll be just on site, so I told them I'll find a place for it.
Absolutely.
We'll put it somewhere. So that's what this change order is for. I just need basically a signature on it saying that it's okay to make that change, but they don't know what it is yet. I tried to get a dollar figure, but they don't have one, so.
Okay. So.
We're not okaying any money, we're just okaying
The
that
date
there's
changes.
going to be
Gotcha.
an upcharge later on.
Okay, so later on, we will actually approve the dollar amount. This is
Correct.
just saying, yes, we're okay with a change and a change of dates essentially, and for them to kind of put the quote together and things like that, right? Like at the end of the day, my
Everything's all
point
put
is,
together. It just, the scaffolding part of it is what this covers, that we're okay with, and we know that there's gonna be a charge,
okay,
is what this is.
So we had paperwork. Okay.
I did not send that to you because I didn't,
No, you're fine.
however, and if they said no, then I had to go back to them and say, they said no, so we gotta come up with something, so it's at your discretion. Because I haven't told them yes or no on it, I want to bring it to you first.
okay. Questions from you guys?
Again, I don't have any problem okaying the change, it's just we don't wanna commit to something we don't know a dollar amount.
Yeah.
That's what I expressed to her when we had that meeting, that, I didn't want to commit to anything that, it blind.
Yeah.
And she said, all this is just saying that it's there, but, and it has a daily rate on it, it just doesn't have the amount of days.
Gotcha.
So the sooner the cleaning goes and the sooner the lining goes, the sooner they should be able to come back in. Right now, we're looking at a August start date, and second mobilization will be the end of October, so because that gives me I told him I have to have at least 9 weeks in between, so by the dates, we got actually 10 weeks to complete the other 2 parts of the project, and then for them to come back in, so we'll look at a completion date sometime around the first week of November.
Okay. So just for one more point of clarity then is,
Yes.
just to make sure I understand, so the board understands, we're basically approving them to change the project, but we're not approving a new dollar amount yet.
Correct.
Okay. Good?
Mhm.
Okay,
Basically, we're changing the scope,
okay.
but there's no dollar figure.
Can I see?
Yep, absolutely.
Wanna take a look at it?
No, well, I can, yeah.
Okay.
Should I
Okay with
look
it?
at it right now?
What's that? I don't know, nobody's seen that one yet,
Yeah,
I just got
think
that
I
one,
have
so.
details.
Do you wanna look that over and we'll go to bills, or?
Well, I guess my point is, I'm not sure we got given enough details. I mean, this is the dismantle.
The dismantle instead of that. Well, that's what I'm saying is it'll come back to
Hmm?
actual, he's gonna bring back an actual change order amount,
Right,
an
right.
additional one, right? So this
Yeah.
is just to say, yeah, go ahead and start.
Right, and that's why I was like,
Okay.
yeah, fine.
Okay. Okay, so I'll make a motion, we approve change proposal number 1 for Evoqua for the Deister Rehabilitation Project.
Second?
Motion second, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous. We'll lost that one, but, okay. Okay. Bills?
All right. I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $784,422.98 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated April 8th, 2025 for checks.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $576,429.28 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated April 8th, 2025 for EFT payments.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous.
And I make a motion to pay all accounts payable except overtime in the amount of $298,198.26, plus overtime in the amount of $11,553.77, for a total of $309,752.03 for the pay file ending March 26, 2025.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor show by the usual sign, it is unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Department reports, Chip?
Everything's awesome.
I don't believe that.
Trail, we are having, I don't know, this has been known, but we had some issues with initial survey, and it's causing some major problems with handicap ramps, ADA compliance, and so it was quite a tense day today at the
Was that
trail.
engineer malfunction?
I prefer not to say, but I will take the blame for it on the company I hired.
Okay.
Yes, and so, bad mistake, but we are getting through it. Skate park, I would say, is probably 80% complete. I'll let Mike talk about, we had a meeting with Glow today, Glamour Ladies of Wrestling, and it was,
Get the let out, by the way, it's glow, yes.
so yeah, honestly, things are moving forward. So, good.
Questions of Chip? Thank you, Kelly?
Our yearly limb pickup started today, or this week, so we have 2 days, 2 crews out working on that. And then started getting our contracted amount of salt in last week, and they're still working on it. We got about 300 ton in, 2 more 100 ton to go. And then Jason and Tony are, when they can now, still trying to help Park back there with the dugouts. And then we'll have cemetery cleanup starting the end of this week and then into next week before Easter. rolls around. And,
Are we posting that? Or is that you guys, your guys' cleanup? Oh, it's already been posted?
Yeah,
Okay,
On
Okay.
Facebook.
great, thank you.
and the leaf mulch is ground up and ready for the public at their convenience back in Marshall's Park.
Question of Kelly. Thank you. Matt?
Bathrooms have been a real challenge this year when they got winterized. They missed some things. So we've been waiting on some parts, and actually, as of today, the last bathrooms opened up down at the bowl. So they're all open and ready for residents. Street department's been helping us out, pouring the floors. It's been a big help. Also, Kelly gave me some information on a crew that could come in and help us with the dugout roofs, so we could get that process sped up once the block of concrete is poured. And I've been able to talk to them, and they're gonna be in, as soon as 2 dugouts are ready, they're gonna come in and put the roofs on, so we're gonna be able to get those done pretty quick.
Cutting it close, Matt.
Yes. The skate park looks fantastic, and as far as I know, it's on schedule to open up this month, so should be good. There's a lot of buzz about it right now.
Yeah, I hear that. I don't know how people are gonna get there, so I guess the sidewalks and stuff, but it's a little muddy around it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we noticed back in February when the snow melted that we had some delaminations on the new pickleball course. So we, with Chip's help, he's reached out, and the contractor's gonna be in May to take a look at that and fix them, so.
Those are probably still under warranty, I'm assuming?
I would say so.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the pool's the next big thing.
Okay, question, Matt? Thank you. Terry?
Well, excuse me, was off last week, so I don't have any updates on the 2 current projects we're working on because I wasn't here to work on them. Did have talks with Preferred IT today, get a scope of work to replace our final and last server that needs to be upgraded. It's our domain controller, so it's the one that controls all access to all the city network. So we should be able to get that started and hopefully have it done 2-3 weeks.
Anything else? Questions of Terry? Thank you. Mike?
We've been going around and cleaning storm drains this last week, quite a few of them. And then also, we had a line that was leaking down on East Ellsworth Street that turned out being lead, so we replaced that. And then, like Chip said, we had a meeting today with Glow, going over some stuff and making sure they had everything right to start their process of helping us,
Okay,
you know, so.
good. Question of Mike? Thank you. Mike?
We got a response back from the state on our CSO operational plan. The only issue, they had some issues with the mapping and some issues under the sanitary part of it. I don't know where that stands, but those were the only issues. Force main project, topsoil and seeding, it needs to be done. Most of it is complete, other than that, because when they were in, it was rain needed to dry out. My guy spent Thursday and Friday last week repairing air lines and our aeration tanks during that storm. Sometimes you get too many solids and that they start to pass through, so that before they start to pass through, we'll actually shut down our aeration system. Basically turn the air off and just let it settle out, and then just kind of do a pass through, or just a clear water. And then we'll turn it back on after a couple hours. When they turned it back on, it blew 2 air lines apart.
Nice.
And we got one of them fixed on Thursday. One still had a leak. So we turned it back on, and as we were turning it on and bringing it up to full pressure, we blew a 3rd one apart. So spent Friday putting everything back together, so everything's back online now, and they finished increasing the pressure to
Normal.
run it full today, because we weren't gonna do that on Friday. So they've done that today, and everything's holding so far. The other thing I had here is I spread it out over 4 years at the SCADA project, is replacing the radios because, just a little history that they were pulling out, they weren't gonna make them anymore. So we had to get all brand new radios for our stations. So we decided to upgrade each station at the same time, PLCs and the new radios and like that. And it started in 2022. With that first one, we done 11 stations, so we essentially ended up with 11 spare radios. This year is the fourth and final year of the project, and I'm sure that you'll agree with me, we're supposed to finish projects, but I'd kind of like to postpone this final phase until next year, because we do have 11 spares, so hopefully that'll cover us through. Because the final phase is quoted at $190,672.
And we're spending a boot shoot of money on the
I got
digester.
$1.5 million going out this year on one of the
Yep.
other projects, so I kind of postpone this till
Yep.
next year, as long as
It's
you're
okay with that?
Mhm.
doing it.
Yeah, as long as you feel comfortable that we're not gonna have a malfunction or, and that if we do, we have backups, I'm
We had,
good.
that's why I done those are the easiest ones first, so I had backups throughout in case something happened, so.
Yep, I'm good with it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, I'll let them know that we're gonna postpone that for a year. so.
yep, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Marcia,
Nothing.
Rosie,
I did have one more street closing, but it's not really street closing, and it's what they did last year, the fire, or the police do that training
on Tower View?
on Tower View. And I really didn't get it in in time, because it was like Friday. But I did get everybody to sign it, and I thought I'd go ahead, it's not till
It's about a month away.
first week
Yeah,
of
May 4th,
Yeah.
from 7 AM to 3 PM. And I'm trying to remember, did they use all that time? I feel like they got done a little early last year, but I could be wrong. So it's just Tower View Drive from basically Short Street to Tower View and around the MSF. You guys wanna see it?
I just thought I'd bring that up since I got everybody to sign it.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to get on it. Huh?
I'm sorry, what did I say? I'm sorry, yes, from Van Buren down to Short Street, yes, I'm sorry, yeah, apologize. That's what I meant, my brain didn't say that, but I did mean that.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we approve the, Woodland County Law Enforcement EVO training for May 4th on Tower View as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor should be the usual sign, it is unanimous. Anything else, Rosie?
No.
Okay, I'll just kind of give you a brief overview. It's been, obviously it's spring break, so we have a couple of our individuals that are out this week for that. We have, comp plan, as you know, is continuing. We have another steering committee meeting scheduled, so they're putting things together for that. I was unexpectedly called down to the State House this morning, so I went down and, so obviously property taxes are hot for everybody right now, but everybody got their property tax bills, and, you know, a lot of people don't understand what's going on, right? And again, I've said it in my lunch with the mayor, and I'll say it again, and that is that the system is based on your assessed valuation. And if your assessed valuation of your house goes up, then the property tax bill goes up, right? It's not the property tax rate, it's the property tax bill that goes up. And the interesting part of that, I think, is that because we have a tight housing market, supply and demand, right? Supply is low, demand is high, and it's driving up those prices of homes in general. So people are rightfully frustrated about having to pay additional hundreds of dollars on their property tax bill. Again, you know, in the last 10 years, our tax rate for the city has gone down, but I understand that doesn't necessarily mean property tax bills don't go down, you know, that they go down, right? Because assessed valuation goes up. So the issue is that on Friday night, there was a 350-page amendment to Senate Bill 1 that was filed, and on Monday morning at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, they heard the bill in committee yesterday, and passed it in committee. The issue with that is that it has a lot of, I mean, I think it has a fair amount of decent things for homeowners, but there's a lot of other things that are not good for homeowners. For instance, there's a cut in business personal property tax. Completely cut business personal property tax out. For us, that's about 7% of our revenue is business personal property tax. Not insurmountable challenge, but not insurmountable. There are other places in the state that 70% of their revenue come from business personal property tax. So if that goes to zero, I don't know how they survive, right? The other challenge is in the totality of, I don't want to get too complicated here, but in the totality of what, all the government services, city, county, township, library, schools, all of that has a certain tax burden, right? If you cut the business personal property tax out, it shifts that burden to where? To us, right? So on one hand, they're cutting property taxes for residents, but on the other hand, they're shifting more burden over to residents by cutting the business personal property tax. So that's what I was at the State House today doing, was to just try to help our legislators understand that cutting the business personal property tax is a tax cut for businesses and is a tax increase in a way. It's more than just in a way. It is a property tax increase on residents. It's the exact opposite of what the governor wants to do with property taxes. So, long story short is, had a lot of good conversations. We'll see what happens. There was a fair amount of local officials there talking to their legislators as well. And I think the legislators are understanding that this system is so complicated and complex that a knee-jerk reaction is not going to be beneficial. Again, if you cut from somebody, you're going to hurt somebody else, right? So the problem is it's so spider web together that by cutting one piece out, you're moving the net to somebody else. It's not as easy as they think it's going to be. So, long story short is, we're like 2.5 weeks away from the end of session, give or take. There's still gonna be a lot of movement between that now and then. Hopefully they change some of the bad parts of the bill. But again, we have been all for targeted relief. Cities and towns have said, yes, we support targeted relief for those that need it. Let's make things clearer and cleaner and all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, so that's probably all I'll say about that. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see what else is going on here. I don't know. There's a lot of things that are happening. We have our caucus for the Northeast Council District on Friday evening. I believe there's one candidate, so we'll see how that comes out. But we will be doing that to fill Leslie's seat as she transitions to the clerk treasurer's position. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I did attend a ribbon cutting at Five Lakes. They finally had a ribbon cutting after being open for a while, and that was well attended. Did you go to Farrell's?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you talk about that. I'll let you talk about that here in a moment then. I don't know, besides that, a lot of projects going on. Oh yes, City Hall is closed Friday the 18th for Good Friday. So for the public to kind of know that. Yeah, good things are happening, it's just a matter of getting them done, so. Dan?
Yeah, we went to the Farrell McClurg grand opening for their new building, their business, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful building inside, upstairs, very comfortable for
Yeah.
people wanting to go in and do business with them.
Yeah.
It was very well attended, great food.
Oh, yeah?
It was really good food there. I like that. I like that part of going to grand opening. We eat well. Very happy with that.
I was gonna say Five Lakes, I didn't have anything at Five Lakes, so you got the better end of that deal.
I don't drink beer, but that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
Good time. Well, that's
Good time
great.
for them.
That's great.
And I'm pretty proud of what they've been able to
Yeah.
accomplish in our community, so. Also, we met last night with the Plan Commission, and we approved the Culvers subdivision.
Mhm.
All it is breaking it into 2 lots now. So nothing that we know of, no plans yet,
Yep.
for sure. But, it's just another way of marketing that area. And we also approved Parker's It's a
Oh, yeah.
establishment between Crossroads and Smiles.
City Smiles, uh-huh.
City Smiles, and they're gonna be putting in another physical fitness facility. They're moving from behind Wings out to there,
Yeah.
along with a smoothie or whatever, it's gonna be another kind of energy drink place that's gonna move into that. So that was two things that was moving last night, and then we had an interesting conversation about fences. That's the first time I've been this frustrated. One of the things we're going with that, so I'm trying to smooth down about that a little bit.
You got a month, right? You got a month, right, to calm down?
Yeah, so we're gonna be interested to see what goes on with that.
There you go. Okay, great, thank you. Lisa, you have anything? Okay, we have no press, we have no audience, so we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.